Good morning. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. We are excited to have all of you here. Coffee. Anybody? Can you say coffee on three? 1, 2, 3.
Coffee.
Thank you. I would love for our viewers on Facebook Live to know we have a lot of people in this room. For those of you who are new, if you have not downloaded the 1 Million Cups app, there are a lot of awesome reasons to do so. One is you can go back and look at past presenters easily from the app and see their YouTube video. You can also go in and give feedback to us on the event. Most importantly, you can check in to let the Kauffman Foundation know that we have attendees as they think about budget and allocating resources. All of this is volunteer, and so none of us get paid for this, so that budget goes towards things like our tablecloth, our coffee mugs that are coveted for presenters, and then our 1 Million Cups banners. Before I jump in, I would love for all the organizers to come up front before we kick off.
And as everybody comes up, I really quick want to go ahead and present Jen with the official Kansas City 1 Million Cups coffee. However, I don't think you're going to be able to get 1 million cups out of that bag.
Thank you. So let's start off on the left. Laura, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Laura Drain. My company is Random Words Marketing.
John Riepenberg, CCC Solutions.com.
Donnell Johns, a Vision Worldwide leadership consulting firm.
Jen Dalton, personal branding for executives and entrepreneurs.
Toni Bernette, business consultant. More news to come shortly.
John, you Office Evolution.
Maya Tremendous Transformational Education Center. We are a child care center in McLean.
Russ McIntosh, Vision Idea Design, and personal cheerleader.
Thank you to all our organizers.
And there are a lot of you who have yet to download the app and sign in. And I don't want to be belligerent, but yes, I will stand over you and watch you do it if you haven't.
But he can be. But he can be.
Wi-Fi connect? Yes, John?
Right here.
Okay, thank you.
So again, welcome. If you're new to 1 Million Cups, just to give you a little bit of background, I always have someone ask me, is it a coffee company? No, it's not a coffee company. It's part of Kauffman Foundation. It's a nonprofit. There's over 160 chapters nationally every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. There is a chapter meeting over coffee, millions of cups, dare I say, to help solve a business challenge. So every week we have at least one presenter share their business question for 6 to 8 minutes, and then we give them lots of feedback. The idea is that this is a safe, constructive place to get feedback on their business. It takes a lot of guts to come up here and present about your business. And so that's why we love being organizers, to help people grow their business. Just logistics-wise, parking pass, I think everybody has one. We've already talked about checking in on the mobile app. Hopefully we won't bore you to death with hearing that again. As I said, presenters will present for 6 to 8 minutes, and then we'll have, Donnell will come up and moderate, and he'll have people, just raise your hand if you have a question. We'll go in order of questions. In front of you is an index card. If you are brainstorming dozens of ideas and you want to make sure you don't forget them, please write them down. We collate them at the end of the session and give them to our presenter for feedback. If you would like to be available for follow-up, just write down your name and your email or phone number, whatever works best, in case the presenter wants to ask lots of questions. Do follow us online. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. You'll see our events on Facebook as well. So if there's anything you want to post, events or things like that of your own, the best place to do that is in our LinkedIn group, 1 Million Cups Fairfax, or our Facebook group as well. This would not be possible without our sponsors. So John, you from Office Evolution, would you come up and tell us about why you're a sponsor?
I've actually asked our new business center manager, Sylvia.
Yay!
Yay!
All right, my name is Sylvia Ferguson, and I'm the new business center manager here at Office Evolution. So we help small businesses grow, and we provide high quality service. We have shared office space, private offices. We offer meeting and conference rooms and virtual addresses. So if you have any questions, please feel free to stop by my office. I give you a tour, or I try to answer all your questions. So yeah, thank you.
John Rutenberg from CCC Solutions, our coffee sponsor.
Hey, John Rutenberg, CCCSolutions.com. The reason I'm sponsoring is because the other volunteers who run 1 million cups are amazing. And if you would look at the pecking order of responsibilities carried out, I'm at the very bottom. And so to me, and I'm newer.
But we love you, John.
That's irrelevant. But having said that, it's important to sustain 1 million cups. And what a great way to get in front of 30 plus bright people to be known and have CCC Solutions in front of you. But really, when I thought about why I was doing it, it was simple. The other volunteers are amazing because they make it happen every week in Fairfax, in this chapter, and playing a role nationally and spending their time. And I'm proud to be part of it. And I hope others of you in subsequent months will step forward and be our coffee sponsors. That's what we need. It's easy to do. Please, if you have any questions, see me, John Rutenberg, CCC Solutions. What we do is help people overcome follow-up fatigue. Anybody have follow-up fatigue in the room? We can help. John Rutenberg, CCC Solutions. And thank you, sponsors, volunteers.
There are 10 people in the room who've not logged into the app. I will start patrolling shortly. If you need to get in the Wi-Fi, Jen will be able to provide it to you.
We will send Lower Drain over to you.
Okay, I need help.
So if you are interested in being a coffee sponsor, the next few months are available. It's a great way to have 2 minutes to speak up here, up front to business owners. If there's someone who you think would like to get in front of this group and be a coffee sponsor, you only have to contact me. So it's not very
That's why I did it.
That's why you did it. We do need coffee sponsors though, and it is a great opportunity to get in front of the group. So let me give maybe another 30 seconds for some of the Wi-Fi challenged folks. While we're waiting, I just want to give Toni Bernette a shout out. He went to Kansas City, Missouri last week to the 1 Million Cups Organizers Summit. It's a national summit where hundreds of organizers come together, share best practices, share insights, and brainstorm on how we can be even better volunteers. Toni, I don't know if you want to come up and just share 1 or 2 brief tidbits or takeaways that we're going to be implementing, or what you would like most about the conference. Toni also spoke at the conference. He could talk about that too.
Yes, so I presented on how to keep the organizers organized. It was a fun opportunity to speak in front of the conference. This is, for those of you who don't know, the Kauffman Foundation is founded by the gentleman who invented basically the vitamin supplement. It started with the calcium supplement and grew from there. And when he retired, he created the foundation with a $2 billion endowment to help entrepreneurship around the country. Make a long story short, every year they do this summit to help the organizers to do things and update them on plans and activities and software developments for management and the like. The biggest thing that they now have, and want to talk about, and I'll share this as a takeaway, is they no longer want people to use the term networking. Networking is now, they're saying, a cast term and not appropriate to what it really is. What they want to do now is want everyone to start using the term connecting. And then when you're in a group like this, you're not networking, you're connecting and connecting with others. So that is the big takeaway for everybody here, is from now on we need to call it connecting, not networking. All right? So thank you and enjoy today.
And only at events where you're connecting do you get legitimate badges with your name and winners, as long as they're facing the right way. So thank you to Laura, Drain, and Toni for setting this up, and this is one of our improvements as well. So now I'm going to turn it over to our presenter.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nandita, and hi. And the first thing I want to say about my business is that Actually, it's a question. Do you love math? Probably. I love math. And this is the basis of my business, is creating these activity books, math activity books for children to help them develop a good, sound mathematical foundation that will get them to high school or college. In 2017, I founded my Swam business. It is called Arzi Education and Services. I use my background in engineering and my teaching experience in mathematics to help me design these books. These activity books are very unique because they have my own approach and through my experience and my knowledge and my education. So why do I consider math important? Because I think we have to understand what math is about. Is it a language, science, or logic? To me, they are all three combined, and that's why they are so important. We all know we exist in the world of numbers. From the moment you wake up, what is the first thing that you do? You look at your watch. And what's the next thing? You say, oh, this, how far do I have to go? Where am I going? And everything is numbers. And we know also the world of the cyberspace, the internet, we all use that, and the digital world, which is the computer. We are using all this as numbers. And logic, if we can maneuver into these areas with logic, that will have our solving skills and whatever answer we need to find. So ultimately, we should provide a stronger mathematical foundation for our children. Okay? So in my approach, I looked at it this way as an engineer, and I said to myself, okay, let's divide this into sections: knowledge, logic, and solving skills, to establish a mathematical foundation. Knowledge, it could be any mathematical concepts. Logic and reasoning, when you explain the concept and make it understandable to young children. And then problem solving and getting there, solving solutions. And that's all combined together gives you the mathematical foundation. So I thought to myself, let's try this approach of teaching, because as you know, teaching is not an exact science. Each person has their own approach in doing that, and my intention was start from the beginning as early as possible. So I said to myself, let's combine knowledge, logic, and both of them to get to a solution which I consider I would call it the missing link. That once the child finds the solution, the answer, that's the missing link. So I'm gonna give you an example, an easy one. Let's take a concept, a mathematical concept. In this situation, I set the greater than concept, mathematical concept. To understand the logic, you play around with it and get to the point where you say, oh, I know 4 is greater than 2. And then let's design a problem around this concept. Okay, a multiple choice problem.
You got to get back in the camera.
Okay, I'm sorry. A multiple choice problem is really the best, I would say. So I said, let's say A, 2 greater than 4, B, 4 greater than 2, C, 4 greater than 2, greater than 4. So the answer, as we all know, it's B, 4 greater than 2. So if a child gets to the point where he can make that decision and answer B, he has achieved a lot. It depends on his age. I mean, those books, as I said, they go for different levels, for different ages, but the approach is basically always the same, which is build their solving skills and and promoting their knowledge base. Click. Okay, so the books that I have available online is around 15 books that are published. And they are, as you see, they are divided into class, age, and ability. So you have Math 1, Math 2, Math 3, and I'm hoping soon to come up with Math 4, 5, and 6. And I'm also hoping to translate them from English to Spanish, French, German as well. So that's my intention. The market that is for me right now is the community centers, the schools, the teachers, the parents. I teach at the Vienna Community Center currently, and I use my books. They are, I teach a young children class from 3 to 5 years old, and they love my class and they love my books. So that is a good reference. So introduction, my challenge is basically one word, introduction to the market. My company is new. It's been less than 2 years old. My books are also new. You know, I've created them slowly over the 2 years. So I need my challenge is to introduce them into the market. So like today, you know, something like today where you make a presentation and hoping for good feedback and any feedback on design or product or production and delivery.
So thank you very much for your presentation. Now we get to the fun part where we're going to grab feedback from the audience. One thing that I ask is that this is not a Shark Tank. We're here to help out the presenter that's up here with any issue, opportunity, or challenge that they're having. Make sure that it's positive in a way that they can receive it. One way that we do that is in front of you, you'll have a 3x5, a 5x7, an 8x10. I don't know what size your card is in front of you. But whatever size that card is, please put your name and your phone number on top of it. Below that, whatever feedback that you have, because we're going to be getting around to almost everybody's comments, but we're not going to be able to make it to everybody's comment. But please write your feedback on here, and that way Bobby can get back to you with any questions that she has.
Donnell, isn't there another way they could do it as well?
What is that other way there?
Oh, if they log into the 1 Million Cups app, which 6 of you have yet to do, you could also put your comments in the 1 Million Cups app so it's stored for prosperity and also shared with Bobby.
Well, thank you, Tony.
You're welcome.
That was amazing. I appreciate that. You worked that out earlier. How did that go?
Also, I have this recommendation. Mr. Ross here, he's the one who designed this for me, and he is extremely, I'm so happy with this design of the work. Thank you, Ross.
Thank you.
All right. So,
I am her client.
oh, wow.
You remember at the McLean Day?
Yeah.
I bought your book.
Yes, you did. I remember now. Yeah, thank you.
So thank you so much for that. Now we're about to get to the questions. So, go ahead.
Thank you, Bobby. Good morning.
Good morning.
What you do is essential. One of my children had completely missed the mark on math in general, first grade. And over the summer, she met with someone like yourself, and she just passed her AP calculus exam with a 5, right? I don't think she could have ever done it unless with someone like yourself. early on. So what you're doing is essential. And my recommendation is, because I think what you do is essential, get to somebody who's a marketing guru and have them help you with your brand. That's the best way to get your word out quickly. Someone who understands social media, someone who understands marketing, and there's plenty of folks out there. I'll make recommendations.
Thank you very much.
Tony?
Have you started a guerrilla marketing campaign by going around to, say, a lot of the Montessori schools, private centers, and even the church schools, where they start off with the younger ages, before first grade, but even, afterwards, that, do after-school programs? Have you started approaching any of those people?
I like that idea very much, and I hope in the future I will do more of that.
So, I have a school, and I was wondering, what is the difference between your books and the other popular books in the market?
Okay.
Like, why would I?
Yeah, why my books are, I consider that their value is in the approach and design of the skill in developing the skill in math, which is basically, as there are lots of competitors out there. My books, I would say, they are full of illustrations, color, and activities. The children get to do all kinds of activity like coloring, tracing, and also the knowledge. They are increasing their knowledge by the mathematical concept that I'm introducing into their life, and the mathematical solving skills, because I'm doing as well worksheets where they have to solve and get the answer. So put it all together, it is a very sound, logical, and scientific approach to learning, which is my background in that. Thank you.
I was wondering, in every school they have somebody design curriculum for that particular for the whole year. So have you ever talked with that person, like director of curriculum, because they plan for if they can implement your, if your book can be implemented. I don't know how you would work out with them on that. Yeah.
Let me explain a little thing about my books. My books are not. I'm not doing these books to change any curriculum. Curriculum, like we said, what is the math, concepts, logic, and skill. Now, the knowledge is based on mathematical concepts, and those concepts are picked by, like you said, the educator or the owners of Montessori or whatever. They pick the concepts. For me, I don't follow a curriculum. I just pick any mathematical concept I wish to deal with. And I work it throughout the book to develop the mathematical comprehension and mathematical foundation. This is what I'm going for. I'm not, my books can be a resource to children, in math, and to parents and to teachers. It's a resource, it's not a textbook. They learn a lot using my books, but it's not a textbook, as I said. So the schools are following a certain textbook method. I'm following a different approach. I'm trying the math enrichment program is, develop the value of the understanding and of the concepts and the mathematics leading to good mathematical skill.
Gotcha. So your name and your business, please.
Sure. Carlton Arendelle, Capricorn 25. It's real estate development and consulting. I had an idea just based on your presentation. There's a way if you do like a word kind of search, if you put a lot of words in, you've seen the thing where it'll give you the big words because that's, that type of thing. The one word I've heard you talk about is concepts. And I was looking to try to see the name of your book. And it seems to me that, given that you're not trying to change curriculum, but you are very much into concepts, and I think people get that, I would try to say, I mean, I'm not trying to rename your book, but I kind of am. I would say concepts, children's math concepts, so that word stands out, because that's what you really have been talking about this morning, is the concepts of math. And I think that people then, tie into that in terms of what's going on. That's just what I'm hearing.
Well, thank you, and I will look into it, and if you wanna write it down, I will, I'm trying to follow.
Sure.
Yes.
Are you, I guess I don't know what it is, like what question that you're asking about feedback, but I'm curious, are you showing profit already? Have you made a profit?
No, I haven't made any profit.
How many books have you sold?
Not that many. I mean, probably very minor. I wouldn't even mention it.
Okay.
15 maybe maximum, or 20. But that's not the point, because as I said, I'm in a new business, and I spent all my time the first 2 years in basically building the skeleton of this business. And making the books was partially because you have to have the product to advertise about. So that is time consuming. I mean, each book is like a new baby to me. I worked very hard. Everything written in those books I created. I drew the numbers, everything, the concept I created. So that was very time consuming. So by now, I said in 2019, I'm gonna start getting into the market, and hopefully once I find myself in a position to see any profit, I will continue making new books, publishing, because I am the publisher as well as the author. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
And just to answer your question about concepts, I related concepts to knowledge, because I believe children should have a knowledge base in mathematics, and the more mathematical concepts they have, the better. But it doesn't mean they have only to have the concepts that is drawn in the school system. Any concepts, any mathematical concepts will do to get them to the point where they develop the skill in solving problems, and to build the mathematical foundation. And this is what we need. We need to introduce math to our children at the earliest possible age. And from there on, you build.
Jen?
Have you had any focus groups or sat down with parents to look at, have you had a chance to have focus groups or sit down with kids and parents and observe how they're using the books and translate that into, this book has these 6 concepts, and that meets what they will be studying in school, just so it's aligned. Because I love the idea of math books. I think that's wonderful. But I'd love to know if you've had a chance to do focus groups, because I think that's a big part of getting feedback on the look and feel of a book, on the structure of the book, and even just how to message it and communicate how it stood out. And I saw you had a testimonial on your website, but I'd like to see more of those. So if you could speak to how you've gotten feedback so far, what you'd like to next, that'd be great.
I do teach at the Vienna Community Center, and I have children that they come to my class and who love the class I make. It's a small class from 4 to 6 years old, and I use my books. And the parents, they write me wonderful references from. I have one reference that is amazing from one of the parents. So, yeah, I've had some feedback, but I am limited, as I said, because I'm just one person. And
I bought your book. I bought your book. I don't know if I should.
Yes, please.
Sorry.
Because
I bought her book.
Yeah.
And I use the puzzle, for the puzzle,
you like that?
But I find challenge for the book, because I'm not like a math person. Like I feel that I can buy the book, but then how would I enjoy to do that with my child? That is another story. So I was wondering, I would prefer to maybe pay somebody for that, to help me. I don't want to do it by myself, but I bought the book. I just don't really use much out of it, because I prefer somebody else to like maybe
Yeah.
better.
I understand.
Yeah.
I've had that question.
Yeah, because
before.
I find that more challenge for me.
Yeah. To me, math is so easy that I didn't realize that people out there, they might have a problem with that. So I did make some changes in my books to make it more user friendly. Let me put it is that you can read the problem, not just understand it as an adult. You know, like if 4 greater than 2, I wrote it. 4 is greater than 2. So you know, if they're not that savvy in knowing math.
Toni, have you, I know you made the comment in the presentation just a moment ago that you're self-publishing these books. Have you approached any publishers? There are several publishers that have offices in Northern Virginia, in the DC area, about picking up the books for a larger run and larger distribution. Yes, they'll take more money, but if your goal is to get these books distributed, right now, self-published, you're going to have a hard time getting onto, say, Amazon. And doing a quick look, there are over 10,000 similar books to yours on Amazon. And you'll have to have a publisher get those out and get those on Amazon. I think that may be, what your direction needs to be. Have you approached any of them yet?
No, I haven't approached any publisher because I just as I said, this has been like the last 2 years, and I was working hard in establishing the company more than marketing it. So I would love to have any input, and I'll look at it, whatever you mentioned.
Kat with Broly Gift Leadership Coaching and Consulting. So you talked about goal growth for 2020 if your business is showing a profit. To build on the question that the woman over there asked, you're not currently showing a profit. What do your profits need to look like for you to be able to publish those next 10 books?
Oh, well, I'm hoping to at least break even for 2020. Because right now, so far, the last 2 years, I use my own capital, and but I don't have any debts, and I like it that way. So that if I want to survive in this, and I love what I'm producing. By the way, it's not just business. I love math, and I love helping children learning math. So it's fun for me what I'm doing.
Well, and breaking even isn't making a profit, so.
Yeah, exactly. But it's keep me going until the year after, and hopefully the year after there will be some growth.
I used to be a preschool teacher, and just out of my own experience, what I did with material, I would always go online first. I would type in the topic or look at material because I found that more handy just to go online and print the page. Have you thought about ebooks or like where you can go page by page or something?
I have a website that presents my books, and each of the books that I publish, they have a sample there, a PDF sample. So if somebody wants to buy the book, they will have an idea about the book, what is inside the book. So I put like 10 pages that they can go through about this book, whether it's addition or greater than or equal. These are different concepts. So they are online. I'm not sure I forgot the question. Yes.
Stephanie.
Sorry.
We have one person. Randy can call. So when I think of your company here, first thing I think of is Mathnasium. Your Mathnasium.
I've heard of that. They have their own.
You have a company and they're located all over the place. Every time I go around the corner, I see a Mathnasium. So
Yeah.
have you thought about subcontracting with them, or will you talk to them about?
I've talked to them, but when people have their own business, they don't like to share. So I got nowhere.
So they might do subcontracting. Maybe subcontracting you out to.
I tried different avenues, and the only one that worked for me so far was the Vienna Community Center where I teach the class.
To go back on what he was mentioning about Amazon, I'm not sure if all that's accurate. My father-in-law is 83. He just released another book on Amazon that's for children. I am telling you, it is not as hard as you might think. If my father-in-law can do it, I think you can do it. So what I'm saying is I would be happy to give you his contact info and you can talk to him, because trust me, he is very grassroots and low level. He's not complicated.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you.
And just one other follow-up before you dismiss me. The other thought I had about communities to reach into was perhaps the homeschooling communities out there. That might be a place that you can break into. I don't know how. Sorry, I don't have that information, but it's a thought.
Yeah, I agree. That sounds great. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Mark Evans. Can you tell us a little bit about what your marketing strategy is? It sounds like you have a very strong, great handle on the technology and on the book writing. Tell us a little bit about your marketing strategy today and how you're going to market and how.
Okay. My marketing strategy right now, I don't want to spend the money on advertising because I can't afford it. So I'd rather, I'm doing online sale, which is with the website that I have. As I said, you see my books there, and I have my card. If somebody seems interested, they can go to my website. And then there's the word of mouth, like this kind of reception here. This is what I'm looking for, where I can go and do a demonstration of my product. This is for the time being until the company picks up some revenue, some profit.
I left my information here, but I just had some thoughts around YouTube, social media,
I'm not good at that.
hashtags. Those are great ways. They don't cost you anything.
Thank
I
you.
left my information here. I'll be glad
Okay,
to sit
thank
down.
you.
Go ahead, John.
Okay. Are you personally, from your background, a member of any mathematics foundations or organizations?
No.
Okay. Doing some quick research, there are about 3 or 4 just in the DC area. And one of the things they each have is an outreach to children and promoting children in mathematics. I wrote down CPIN, NCTM, and the last one is, it's no point in going into it, it'll be on the card. But perhaps talking to them about them picking up and distributing your books as part of their program. Because what they can do is they can then buy your books and then donate the books to education centers. That way you're not selling individually one person at a time or one school at a time, but they'll buy batches of the books, say thousands of them, and then distribute it. Of course, they have to like the book, but that's why I asked if you were personally a member of any mathematics organizations, because if you're already a member, they're more likely to sit there and talk to you and work with you.
Thank you.
It was already mentioned.
What?
My question. I can add one more.
Have you reached out to several of the local bookstores? There's like McKay's Used Book, Manassas, Busboy and Poets all around the DC area. They're very appreciative of local authors and would probably let you do a book signing or a presentation with them as well.
Thank you very much. I'll keep that in mind.
Yes.
Yes. Hello, Nabila.
Hi.
We met when we talked a couple of weeks ago, and I have distributed my books to my grandchildren. And I sat down with them for a few minutes, and I think the lady that owns them had a point to, I think it's just 1 or 2 lines on each of the exercises, introducing the parent to what it is they're looking at and what they're gonna be helping the kid do would be magnificent, because your books are geared to the concepts, and so many of them you give the answers to, but that's not a perceptually seen by the parent immediately. So I think if you just put 1 or 2 lines, exactly, here you will be introduced to an exercise where the answers are given, and you will help your child learn more of this concept. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, that
Oh, yeah.
is great. Thank you very much.
There's a company called Once Upon a Child, which is a place that you can bring your children and to play, and then they have like a birthday party. So basically they have a bag to give away, and I thought that if you can have a book to contact those company to sell your book to them, so they can give away as a birthday party instead of like a crappy toys. So I always like book is better than crappy toys.
I agree.
So you can sell to those companies.
Yeah.
There's so many around here.
I skipped over one person.
Yeah, thanks. You strike me as a very analytical person. No surprise there. And from listening to other people, you have to separate yourself from the herd. Why would someone buy your math book versus going to Mathanaise or something like that? So if you have those references or those testimonials, would you change someone? Because everybody wants to see their kids improve, and maybe they struggle with math. And the individual behind me talked about his child pass their test because they spoke to someone like you. Those kind of things. I mean, you need help with branding, I think, to separate you from the herd and why people are going to come to you. And I would leverage those testimonials that's what people see, because parents want to see their kids do better or something they're struggling with. I think that, and the person behind me talked about your goal of getting, you talked about your goal of getting to break even. That's a painful way to live, right? If that's your goal, then I think you need to figure out where you're going to place your bets, how to get well past break even, because that's what you're doing this
That's
right?
not my goal. I'm sorry, that's not my goal. That is the minimum goal I would accept so that I can stay in the business.
When I hear that, I hear just make the pain continue till you get profitability.
Stop the bleeding.
Yeah, stop the bleeding and just survive long enough.
Thank you very much.
So you need to get past that. So.
You're
But
right.
I think help with marketing branding is what you do.
Thank
Jen Dalton over there.
Yeah.
Did I forget you?
And Russ.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I know this is a huge passion project for you.
Yeah.
One thing to consider, and maybe you have already, is incorporating as a nonprofit and looking for grants. And if you're tailoring your books to young girls in STEM, that's a very specific niche, very specific keywords, very specific audience. And I don't know if that's something you're thinking about, but that might be one way, instead of doing math for everyone, get really focused on how do you make math work for that audience. So just a thought that might help you with being found and standing out.
Thank you.
Hi.
Yes.
Great work you're doing. I'm gonna add to Jen's comment. If you focus on something like girls preparing for STEM, there are a lot of opportunities to work with nonprofit organizations in this area who will feature you and who will open an audience of parents who would be very interested in working with you, and businesses attached to that. So there's Women in Technology, and they have a breakout group that's focused on girls in STEM. There's the Women's Foundation of Greater Washington. There's the Business Women's Giving Circle, which is focused on girls in STEM. So, and I'm sure that there are other groups for children, for different categories that you might focus in on. So you may take your time and effort and focus it where you can get a beachhead and then grow your business that way.
Thank you. Can please write it
All right.
down and I will look.
I think that's the best one. Yeah.
So
Laura?
I just came to my mind. I know the president of the Girls of America, Girl Scouts of America capital, and they have a program for STEM. So the Girl Scouts, so I think I will put you in contact with her, and you know they can go. They're doing amazing things for STEM, and I think the books could be able to work in the Girl Scouts of America. And also I have the contact for the home schools here in Northern Virginia, so that would be a very good meeting that you can attend and tell the parents.
Thank you very much.
I think that, my name is Jeff England of Arizona Cybersecurity. I think your ace with why you exist, this is my conclusion from listening to you, is your personal service. A lot of these big companies, every time a child comes in, they may see a different tutor. You offer personal service where you work with that child, you and your team, and it's consistent, and that's what makes it new in a lot of these big companies.
Any more questions? First of all, let's give her a round of applause. It's not easy coming up here displaying your heart and soul, you know, everything that you've worked for, you know, for the past couple of years in front of people. And so we want to give you this 1 Million Cups cup as a reminder that you have a tribe of people here that came here today to support you and to support the growth of your business. So thank you again and enjoy your cup. So today is pretty cool because we have a past presenter.
Donnell?
Yes.
Isn't there one last question that always needs to be asked?
Yes. It's me standing up here.
Yeah.
So Nabila, real quick.
Yeah.
Come back up here.
She gets the more.
That's why we have a team, because I have a team of individuals that can help us out. What can the 1 Million Cups community do for you?
I think everything that you mentioned just now is very helpful. I mean, this is what I need is to get the introduction into the market and, you know, referrals. That's all I need.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, I think it's been about 3 months since you presented. Come on up, Sharon.
Thank you.
So we have pictured this video that came about 3 months ago, present their issue, opportunity, or challenge. And so she's here today to give us an update of number one, what your challenge, talking to us about your business, what your challenge question was, and then what you implemented from the feedback that you got. So let's give her a round of applause.
Yeah, I know all of you weren't here 3 months ago when I was here, so just a little bit of background on my company. It's a video production company that's been in business for over 20 years, and that may seem kind of strange with someone who just came and spoke for a 2-year business, but I was changing my business model to grow the level of customers that I wanted to attract, as well as the level of service that I wanted to give them. So my challenge question was, my business model is changing. What gaps do you see in this new business model as I offer video products bundled with additional services, including marketing, and how might I best be prepared for those gaps? It's a pretty complicated question. So I did get a lot of great feedback from folks in the room. I was asked to pick the top 3 recommendations that I implemented and why. So forgive me, I'm just going to read it. Number 1, revamping my website and my content messaging to reflect the additional services and higher level of customers desired. That was definitely needed and overdue because my website hadn't been updated for about 3 years or so. Secondly, developing basic in-house marketing strategies, and we'll be outsourcing larger needs. And want to identify where the customers are with their video marketing, where they want to go, and then develop a plan for them. So I'm not going to be taking over all of their marketing. It will be specific to the marketing they're doing using video. And Jim Dalton, I still need to reach out with you. Yes. I talked to a lot of people. Jen is still on my list to make a plan with. And then differentiating. My target customers, I've established now, are IT firms and state, local governments and agencies. And the reason I chose those is that's where the bulk of my experience lies, and the bulk of the kind of work that I've been doing over the past 20 years. How has 1 Million Cups supported my success? Members have responded to my request to talk further. I've been added to the mailing list, so I'm aware of what I can add to my calendar. And just being here, I felt accountable by being asked to return and report on my progress. I was like, well, I better have something to tell these people. I better make some darn progress. So thank you. Yeah.
So the number one question is if we wanted to use your service, how do we get in touch with you?
Email me or call me.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Exactly. So
okay.
Your
Email
website.
me Sharon at picturethisvideo.net, not .com. And my number is 703-280-4200. Picturethisvideo.net. Don't get thrown off by its appearance currently. It's under the content's okay. It's going to be better.
Does anyone have any questions for her?
Yes? Yes, Laura.
Would you recommend anybody to come to present? What would tell us, you have a very good feedback. Would you tell,
That's
what
so
would
funny
recommend?
that you said that because I just had to take a deep breath because my husband recently lost his job. And don't cry or worry about it. He's very skilled. But he is looking into potentially going into business with doing podcasting. So making money through podcasting. So like right now at this moment, he's at home recording a podcast. And I said to him, I said, well, if you need some feedback on that, come to 1 Million Cups. He's like, no, I think I've got it figured out.
Men like that.
So I got to think of another person. But I thought it was a good thought because it was kind of new territory for him. So, in general, I think anybody going into new territory with their business is perfect for this group. Whether they're new or whether they're more established like me, I think the feedback that everyone has given has been very valuable. Yes?
I do have a question. I'm in the professional financial services
Yeah.
and PNC, and I've always wanted to do the personal website and the Wix and the, daddies and all those. But how do you go, what was your first, thought when you were gonna revamp? How did you approach it?
Oh, okay. I found a professional. That was step number one, to be honest. I have a website. It's okay. It kind of does the job, but it doesn't represent me in the way that I feel I should be. And so I worked with a professional that actually gave me like a questionnaire about my goals with my website, the audience that I was trying to attract. One of the best things I thought that was on the questionnaire was show me 3 websites of your competitors and what you like and don't like on those websites. And I thought that was really good to help them understand, the look that I was going for and the look that I was not going for. So that's what I did. Start with a professional. That's always good.
Awesome. Yay!
Do only what only you can do. Outsource the rest.
Mhm.
When possible.
Can you say that again?
Do only what only you can do. So if you're an expert at something, focus on that. As entrepreneurs, we're 17 hats, and that's awfully hard thing to do. So when you can, call in family and friends, barter, pay people to help you work it out. Thank you so much for the update. I remember your presentation. You were fantastic and very gracious at hearing all the feedback. Thanks for coming back.
Thanks.
We have a lot of people in the pipeline. Once we schedule them, we'll be booked through November. So if you are interested in presenting in December or January or even February, and you want to reserve that day, please go to 1millioncups.com/Fairfax and apply to present. If you know of someone who's doing a business pivot or launching a business or wants feedback on maybe a new vertical, they would be great candidates. We help them through the process and make sure they're successful while they're here. Any updates or things people want to call out or events?
One second. We had some people that came from the Entrepreneurship 101 that we went to yesterday. So we want to thank you all for coming out and experiencing 1 Million Cups. I would like to hear your feedback from I think it's 4 individuals.
Cass, Michelle, and
Carlton.
Carlton. So the 4 from Entrepreneurship 101 yesterday at Fairfax EDA, if you don't mind standing up. Don't worry, you're not on video. It's only people in the room. Maybe just one key takeaway. First of all, we're super excited you're launching businesses. If you guys can share maybe a key value benefit that you took away. And your name.
Michelle Thomas. I am starting up a dog hiking business where I take active dogs that are sporadic and take them on a hike and bring back happy, tired dogs. Still very much in the conceptual stage of this. It truly is what you were saying before, where it's hard to describe until you've been here. And I really, coming from an artist background and growing up with critique everywhere, and then suddenly going into the business world and not finding that anywhere, this place is amazing. And I am going to be coming back as often as I can because it's truly an invaluable service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to chime in?
Sure.
Today?
And again, hey folks, thanks for inviting me. My name is Dr. Chapman, or Lynn Chapman. I like to go by Lynn, your friend. My wife and I just recently relocated here to the DMV. I'm a psychologist, and I'm in the process of moving my practice from Jacksonville, Florida, to the DMV. If there was a challenge for Lynn, that is, it's really about getting plugged in. I recognize, as many have corrected me, that the currency is new connection. Actually, it always has been. And that's the challenge, is really getting plugged in or connected to those resources. So I'll probably be doing some sort of